Jaguar XJ13, the racing car that never was. In the mid-1960s, Jaguar had a simple problem: how to win the world's most prestigious motor race. Jaguar cars, not just their works team, had won the endurance contest 5 times in the 1950s against monumental names such as Aston Martin and Ferrari. That is no easy feat, requiring power, reliability, and a whole ton of courage. Jaguar kept competing until 1964. The English manufacturer was hungry for more. Built in the mid-1960s, the experimental Jaguar 6, ultimately known as the XJ13, was designed to put Jaguar back on the top step at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. With magnesium alloy wheels and aluminium monocoque, and carrying 41 gallons of fuel, it weighed an enormous 1,040 kilograms. However, the team designed an almighty 5-speed, 5-litre V12 engine and used Lucas mechanical fuel injection to get 503 brake horsepower at 7,600 RPM. This made it capable of hitting 0 to 62 miles per hour in under 4 seconds and had a top speed around 195. The XJ13 appeared to be a prototype ready to take on the world. But reality eventually took hold, and it never participated in a sports car race. With sim racing, we can take a look back at what could have been. So let's take it onto the track in Assetto Corsa and recreate what the 1968 6 Hours of Brands Hatch could have looked like if regulations did not get in the way of a fast and beautiful classic. So here we go. Welcome to Brands Hatch. Today's mix of cars are from the WSC Legends 60s pack. On track there's classic Fords, Ferraris, among other contemporary Alphas and Lolas. As they briefly check up. Coming down Paddock Hill Bend. Can we get a run on the Alpha? Just about. Slowing for Druids. It's so much fun racing against these Ferraris and Lolas. Going up to 30s. Getting past the yellow Ferrari 250. And the power of the XJ13 just making it so easy down into Hawthorns. Taking an interesting line and hitting the Ferrari. Into Sterling's, making up another place. Although he's coming back in clearways. Taking it all the way to the curb and losing a place. And a 157 for lap 1. Gaining a few positions too. The XJ13 was a true passion project. The car's development was cancelled by Jaguar, but the dedicated engineers kept on going. Infamously, Norman Dewis, who was a vital engineer and also the reserve driver, was criticised by Jaguar's co-founder for secretly testing the car. Ultimately, the project only continued on the weekends, however this was with a very small team and an even smaller budget. They're all checking up into 30s. Allows us to gain a position. And another. Although he's coming back for us now. Making contact? Just about. During development, there were some considerable concerns. The team was never too happy with the outboard ventilated disc brakes. It couldn't skip gears, and it was seriously heavy. As well as that, the Dunlop tyres were never well liked, and the car moved a lot when braking late for fast corners. Despite all that, it was fast. In 1967, David Hobbs drove it around the Mirror track, getting an average speed of 161.6 miles per hour, claiming the fastest lap of that UK circuit at the time. The car was equipped with precise monitoring dials for oil pressure, water temperature, and a lot more, giving a vast amount of information to the driver. Overall, it became an easy and comfortable car to drive, an absolute bonus for competing at Le Mans. With our acceleration, 30s is becoming one of my favourite corners to overtake. It was jokingly mentioned that the lack of roof would not have been a concern, as the driver would have been kept warm by the exposed water pipes. But according to one more recent driver, the radiator behind the steering rack made the wooden wheel nearly too hot to hold after just 40 minutes of slower testing. The regulations for Le Mans stopped all hope of the XJ13 racing. The cars were becoming too fast and too unsafe. So from 1968 onwards, all engines were limited to 3 litres. This apparently came without any consultation with manufacturers. With Ford's GT40, Ferrari's 330, and Jaguar's XJ13 being more than the required 3 litres, a whole fleet of cars was made obsolete overnight. Consequently, this car was never driven in anger. Oh no! Making contact with the Ferrari. Oh, and again. This is not my best showing. Whilst we don't know exactly where the Jaguar would have ranked, Duis had previously driven the Fords and tested the XJ13 against the GT40. Despite being the reserve driver, Duis was often faster than the works drivers and believed that the Jaguar was a far superior car. With faster acceleration, a higher top speed, and overall a more stable package at those exhilarating speeds. So it is likely that the XJ13 could have become a major player in the sports car world. Sliding to the inside. I can't hold it. Whilst this is recreating the 1968 version, it's good to look back on the previous runnings of Brands Hatch. The 1967 Brands Hatch 6 Hours was a close competition. With qualifying times around 1:36, 1:37. The race remained fierce, where the Chaparral of Mike Spence and Phil Hill won, with the second place Ferrari of Chris Amon and Jackie Stewart beating out Ciffer and McLaren's Porsche to win that year's Sports Car Championship. In 1968, the Brands Hatch race was won by a Ford GT40, which was over the Le Mans specific 3 litre engine capacity. but it seems for Jaguar, if you couldn't take it on the 24 hours, there's little point racing. They're so far ahead now, don't know if I'll be able to get any more positions. Though we have had quite a charge from the back of the grid. After the regulation changed, the secretive project did show up occasionally. To help promote the V12 version of the E-Type, the XJ13 returned to the Mira track in 1971. However, after years of corrosion, the magnesium alloy wheels failed, leading to a massive crash. Thankfully, Duas, who was driving the car, was protected by the surprisingly strong aluminium monocoque. Ooh, that was a tough one. That corner was never easy. It was also shown during the 1973 Silverstone Grand Prix weekend. However, it was noted that the car was driven very, very cautiously. Despite never competing at Le Mans or anywhere else, the XJ13 has a surprisingly large legacy. The V12 technology in the prototype was then put into Jaguars for decades afterwards. A failed attempt helped to inspire Jaguar's victorious return to Le Mans in 1988 and 1990 with the XJR. This 250 seems to be struggling for speed. Moreover, the ability for a car to be developed by a small team with an even smaller budget became the unwritten operating strategy of Jaguar in the 1990s with the turbo-powered XJ13. Driving this car is just how Duas described it. It is a comfortable drive for a sports car of this period. Its powerful engine sounds superb, and it's really a shame that it did not become Jaguar's sleek and sporty flagship, and was instead more infamous for being the racing car that never was. So there we are, P4 after 6 laps of Brands Hatch. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Historic Sim Racing, and I'll see you next time.